Top little kit, it's all waterproof.
Quite basic.
The torch
Very handy to put your high vis.
is hugely important. That's the medication that we take. Act as a sling to equipment is worth its weight in gold. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Journey Unknown. Of course this is different because we had big massive plans to go away this weekend, and we wanted to show you guys a great little spot down near the prom, and things didn't really go to plan, did it?
No, it's a little bit grey, wet,
A bit.
and a little bit cold. So
It's
we canned that and we
Yeah.
rescheduled for December.
So we decided to show you guys a little bit of, not really behind the scenes, but our home. So welcome. This is our home, and we're going to take you guys through all the safety gear that we take on tour. So that's from boating, fishing, camping, hiking,
And in the car.
caravanning,
Yeah.
car,
Home.
all the things that we think is very valuable to our travels, and we've used it on numerous occasions. So strap yourself in and let's get into it. Alright guys, what I will start with is what we take for safety gear that's mandatory on boats and jet skis. Whether we take the tinny out or the jet ski or just even the kayak for that matter, we have this just a general first aid kit. You can get these from BCF, both of these from BCF actually. Top little kit, it's all waterproof. It has your general bandages and some wipes and stuff, some saline? I think it's saline stuff. Clean your eyes out and all that sort of stuff. Just general things that you probably will use at some stage. If you haven't seen the episode on the jet ski stranded on Snake Island, this was a godsend to have that because we were stuck out there until 9 o'clock at night, I think it was. We got home at about 11:30 at night. Pretty full on day, but had Harrison with us. Long story short, we use this thermal blanket. Perfect. It's got scissors. Yeah, really good little bit of kit. Like I said, it's waterproof. Very handy. Alright, over here, same thing, BCF. This acts as a bucket, has a V-sheet in there, so if you're stranded or something like that, you can put that out and you can be noticed. It's marine grade. Comes with the V-sheet, the torch, which is mandatory on jet skis, and a little lanyard reflector that you can, up at the sky for choppers coming by or whatever. Has a whistle, and also a little compass. And I know that you can have that on your phone as well, but at the end of the day, if your phone goes flat, that can be a godsend. Just a whistle to attract attention. The other reason why you have this on your boat is it acts as a bucket. So if you're starting to take on water, you can scoop it out. Just a little, it's more for just tinnies, smaller crafts. It's compact, easy, worth its weight in gold really, especially when you get stuck. When you're in a situation where you get stuck like we were at Snake Island, there's a million things that go through your mind, and safety is probably the first thing that you think about. Okay, how do we get ourselves out of this situation? So we had to call the Coast Guard, but anyway, check that episode. It's quite entertaining. It's probably one of our first sort of episodes out on the water, and it was a highlight to say the least, but we all made it out alive, which was fantastic. And so thankful that we have this gear with us that we can use. All right, that's the boating.
Now we're going to look at what we keep in the caravan and in the house. So this little first aid kit has been around the traps, that's why it's a little bit worse for wear, a little bit dirty, but this is really handy. We keep this in our house and we also take it in the caravan when we go camping. So it's really quite basic, but it's got a lot of good stuff in here. In your top little compartment we keep the band-aids, because everyone needs a band-aid very, very quickly. Got your Vicks Vapor Rub when someone's got a cold, needs to put it on their chest. Asthma pump came in very handy when we were at the farm last weekend due to this fire. It's had a nice clean out since. And then some basic tablets. So we always need Panadols. You know, you've got a headache, someone has a hangover, or someone needs gastro stop. I keep looking at him, he's not happy. It's fair to say I use this a fair bit. These are Mylanta tablets. They just, you know, dissolve in your mouth. They're quite handy when you're feeling a bit heavy and bloated. So the main sort of tablets that you need fairly quickly, Panadol, maybe gastro stop, and some Mylanta. Another tablet that we could keep in here, but it's normally in my handbag, is hay fever tablets, because we're always either at the farm or around dogs, and that kind of sets me off very quickly. We've got a little packet of Hydrolite, this white tiger balm, very handy if you've got like neck and shoulder pain, so keep that on hand. And then we've got these little junior probiotics, which are good for Harrison when he wants them. So all of this stuff is easily accessible in the caravan, in the house, as we need it. And that all sits in there quite nicely. In the rest of this little toolkit, well, you'd be very familiar with these things. Got a couple of masks on hand. We've also got some betadine antiseptic ointment, treatment of skin infections. So when you've got some cuts and sores or burns, that's very, very handy. This we use a fair bit, some tooth mousse. So normally when you've got a sore tooth or sore gums as well, you put them on your gums and that helps very, very quickly. And then the rest of the stuff in here is all like bandages. I'm not going to take them out. Bandages, some more band-aids, some sort of dressing wounds, wipes. There's some gloves at the bottom and like little tweezers and stuff if you've got splinters. And then a lot of these things, and I'm keen to try these actually. And I saw this little burn aid gels. So when you got burns and scalds or even sunburn, that's very handy to put on. So there's quite a lot of those in here. But yeah, this is just basic first aid.
Easy to get to.
Yeah, basic first aid kit to act on quickly. And that's why I've kept this tin for years and years, because it's just very, very handy. So that's that. The other items that we do keep on hand, but we can't keep them in there because there's not enough room, is, you'll be familiar with this, your COVID tests. So if any of us have a really bad cold or flu, then it's just safe enough to just take a COVID test and make sure that we don't have that. And then,
even if you had it, doesn't really matter.
well, at least you know if you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the fact that whether you have it, it's just knowing why you're sick. And then Troy bought some of this recently. I don't know why you bought this. Oh, because my mum had gastro and sort of passed it on. So you got some gastro. Do you just drink this?
Yeah, you just drink it. But I think
it does a few things. Relieve heartburn, reflux, vomiting, IBS symptoms, nausea, flatulence, abdominal pain, bowel discomfort. So that's actually quite handy, and you want this stuff on hand because there's no, like, you don't want to go camping or caravanning and someone's feeling really ill. You want to get to it quickly, because you don't, like, especially if you're camping in the middle of nowhere or on a beach or in outback, you can't go to a chemist. So we've got the main supplies on hand in the caravan. And under the GoPro, we've got this little first aid kit. Now, I know we've got a lot of first aid kits. It's a little bit overkill, you might think. But this one I actually got from my old job when I had a company car. And first aid kits were a requirement as part of the accessories. So this one came with my car. And one of the differences with this kit, yeah, it's got the gloves, the bandages, the band-aids, the scissors and all that, is it comes with a high-vis vest. So if you break down on the side of the road for whatever reason, or you need to change a tyre, very handy to put your high-vis vest on, so people can see you in the dark or in a dusty road or in the wet.
Yeah, especially if it's a tight road.
Yeah.
You really, you want to put that on.
Yeah. So,
just to be noticed so you don't get sideswiped.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just got all your basic stuff in here, which is most of the stuff that's in that first aid kit. That one stays in the house or the caravan. This one stays in the car under the passenger seat. So it's easy to get to. We have a much bigger first aid kit for the car and travelling, which we'll show you in a minute. But this one is just under the passenger seat. You can get it out quickly. Someone broken a nail or
got a cut, a little cut or something like that. That's just, you know, like Laura said, you always need band-aids.
How many times does someone say, do you have a band-aid?
Look, I don't think that is hugely necessary, but when we were travelling through SA through COVID, we needed this and masks and stuff, so that's why that's in there.
We've actually got quite a lot of these at home. I've only brought one today for the video, but I think we've got about 10 of these at home. And these are so damn expensive now, it's worth gold. So hold on to them if you've got them. Yeah,
because, regulations change, don't they? So
well, you don't know when
you might have to get onto a flight or something and they go, show us your negative test or whatever.
And we will when we go to Hawaii soon. We're going to have a COVID test and show that we're negative. So that's very handy. I know very well that if someone's got a cold or an upset stomach or a cut, we've got the gear
just quickly
ready to go.
100%.
Wow. Haven't had to use that, thank God.
Okay, so this is probably one of the most important piece of equipment that you can actually buy. Not sure what you paid for it. You got
probably
this,
300 to 400. I think it was.
Personal location beacon, and you register this through, I think it's through Canberra somewhere.
Yeah, you had to fill out a form with your details, your emergency contact. I think you had to put a couple, so I think you put myself and your dad.
Yeah.
And the device has a registration number on it, and yeah, it's very simple to use, and it's got a long lifespan.
You can get it out of the case. Actually, it doesn't need to come out of the case, but I'll show you guys how it looks. Quite small, very compact. I think you flip this lid open here, and then you can hit the beacon there. So
you've got to put this aerial up.
That's right.
As well.
Yep. So you flip that, lift the aerial, hit the button, and a chopper will come and fly over the top of where you are to see if anyone's in distress or whatnot. So we carry this when we boat, when we go boating, when we go hiking. It's in the caravan all the time.
It's in the car.
It is in the car, but we have a similar thing through Toyota that actually has a button that you can flick if you're in distress or you've rolled the vehicle or whatever, you're in a car accident or whatever, you can hit that button and they'll notify emergency services. This piece of equipment is worth its weight in gold. Hopefully you never have to use it, but we carry it all the time with us.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it does. Yeah, so it's got this little hook there. So when we went to Snake Island on the jet ski, Troy actually had this attached to his life jacket. So if he did fall off the jet ski, then he still has this attached to him, and he can set the alarm.
It's fully waterproof. Yeah, great bit of kit. You can get larger ones, and I think by law, if you go offshore, you actually need a proper beacon.
Yeah. So this has, you might not be able to see it, but on the GoPro, see at the top here, it says battery expires March 2029. So we've still got another 6 years until we need to get a new one.
Yeah. The other thing I'll touch on that is when it does expire, you need to ring up and cancel that. Don't just throw it out.
Yeah.
You know, notify them and say the battery's gone. They'll cancel the beacon, and you're good to go.
Very handy.
So, like I said, hiking, when I go hunting and stuff like that, I take 2 kits with me. I take this snake kit, super important. We have heaps of snakes. Like we said, we went to Snake Island. There's thousands of snakes on Snake Island. They're all tiger snakes, and we're actually fortunate enough not to see one because they're everywhere apparently. Yeah, so we've always got this kit in our hiking gear.
It's worthwhile seeing what is the difference between a first aid kit and a snake kit.
Yeah, well,
okay?
that's true too.
This isn't your average first aid.
No. So you have a splint that can roll out. So if you get bitten, you can roll it. Say if you get bitten on the leg, you can roll that out. Keep your leg nice and straight and still.
So it's to tighten off the circulation. So if you do get bitten on the leg or the arm, you'll put the splint on to stop it going into the rest of your body, the venom.
That one's not so important, but this bandage is hugely important. And when you pull this bandage out, it actually shows you how tight to pull the bandage. And that's the most important part, because that's going to stop the venom going into other parts of your body. What I will say is that we're not nurses or doctors, but this is just what we've learnt from first aid courses and stuff that we've done. Definitely, if you hike, really should think about getting a snake bandage.
Yeah.
The main thing is, if you get bitten, obviously the advice that we got was just don't panic, stay calm, work out where the bite is, bandage the bite up, keep the patient very still, and mark, if you've got a texture or something, mark on the bandage where the bite is, and wrap that. Say for instance you get bitten on the arm and you're bitten here, wrap the whole arm all the way up, right up to the shoulder. Same with the leg, and just keep the patient very still. If you can get a photo of the snake, then great, but it's not hugely important. Just get the, call 000 or use your beacon, because that's an emergency. So that's exactly what you want to do in that situation. So that little kit there, how much was that kit? Actually, you got that as a gift.
Your dad gave that to me for
King Billy.
Christmas.
He always comes through with the goods, doesn't he?
He did, and he gave you one later on, which was shown.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it's very handy. Hopefully we don't need to use it, but it's peace of mind, especially because, we want to be safe. And also we'll have Harrison, and we'll have his dad, and we will have the dogs.
That's right, and you can use this on a dog, on a dog's leg or whatever. So if you know that the dog's been bitten, 100% wrap it and get the dog to a vet as soon as possible. That's very important. So this one's just a little general kit. Not a huge amount of stuff in there. It's just cotton buds, little bandages, band-aids, alcohol wipes, tweezers. It's not a very expensive kit, but it's just light, and you might use things in there.
Bear in mind, we only go hiking probably maximum 10k, so you're going to do that in an hour or 2 hours, and then you're back at the car. So that's just to get us by until we get back to the car. And
when you think about it, like we haven't had to use it before, but we have been in situations where we've taken our parents on hikes at near
Lawn Hill. Lawn Hill Gorge.
Lawn Hill Gorge.
Yeah.
And it's so rocky, it's so easy to do an ankle or something like that. So if you've got even the snake kit bandage, and someone rolls an ankle, why wouldn't you wrap it up with that? It doesn't matter, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to help them walk out. So that gear, absolutely love it. All right, let's move on to the next, the big bangers.
It's fair to say we're set for hiking.
All right. This one is called the Rescue Swag. Now, once again, King Billy's come through with the goods. He got this for my birthday many years ago, and absolutely love it. It's a ripping idea, and I believe a couple of girls come up with the idea and put this pack together, and it's a beauty, because what it actually does, it acts like a swag, and you click it open, roll it out. As you can see, it's been through a lot, but the guts of it is still in good nick. Unzip it, flip it over. So what it does, it gives you an idea of how to resuscitate on here. Perfect, especially when you're in a situation where someone's unconscious or whatever and you need to look after them and you don't know how to or whatever. It's basically all written down here, very simple, right? Over here you've got these little bags and they all do different things. So here we have major injuries. So once again, it's keeping things simple in a panic situation. You want to make sure that you try to think straight, and it's easier said than done when you have an emergency or something happens. Some people can step back and take control of the situation and look after someone really easily, and other people can just be frantic, and I think this simplifies everything really well. It actually gives you a bit of clarity to go, okay, that cut on their leg is major, I need to grab the major injury bag, or there's been a snake bite, I need to grab that, or just a minor injury. You know, Harrison's fallen over and grazed his knees, so I'm obviously not going to go to the major injury bag. It basically tells you how to treat that wound, and this day and age it's imperative that you actually know how to treat little bits and pieces, especially if you're travelling. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, and like, I haven't really looked into this, but when Troy just put this up, the major injury, so this is large wounds, heavy bleeding, amputation, hypothermia and CPR. Yep. So as you said, you're going to be freaking out.
Panicked.
If someone's hand's falling off or something, like you're in a serious situation. So at least we can open this straight up and go, that's the kit that we need to go to. You know, snake bite we've talked about, and then basic general first aid.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's actually just given me heaps of comfort knowing that we've got that.
That's it. It's such a great idea, and I recommend one of these swags for every traveller. The other great thing about this beautiful, unreal idea is this can actually act as a sling. So if you've broken an arm, you can strap it around your arm, roll it up, it goes over your head, straps like that, or it can be like a compression around your leg. So you bandage someone's leg up, you need to keep it nice and still, you can wrap it around your leg and keep their leg nice and straight. So very simple idea. This is kept in the car, in behind one of the back seats. So this travels with us all the time. Doesn't matter where we are. When we're driving, it's with us.
It's even handy on the farm here.
Well, that's the other thing, you know, because we do a lot of travelling, obviously, and down at the farm all the time, and you know, anything can happen. Harrison could fall off his motorbike, or he'd be bitten by a snake or whatever, and this is always here with us, because we don't always have the caravan with us, where the other stuff stays in the caravan.
Or someone can get too excited on their excavator.
So that's that. Right, this is the #1 first aid kit. You guys are probably thinking, oh my God, you know, way overkill, but to be honest with you, when you're in a situation where something goes wrong, and I've been there before, these first aid kits are a lifeline, really, at the end of the day. This one here travels in my car, and I've had it for a very long time. It's got absolutely everything in it. And, you know, I had a situation where an old friend rolled off a mountain, had to get heli-backed out, and this bit of kit saved him with that situation. You know, he had cuts on his head, bandaged him up and stuff like that, and it's at the end of the day, this is the first thing that I grabbed. Now, I've made a lot of this stuff up myself, just from past experiences of going camping with my son, and you know, him accidentally burning his finger or cutting his hand or whatever, or he's feeling sick, unwell, he needs some gastro stop or something like that. So I've made up all these little packs. So we've got painkillers, and over the time I've just collected different painkillers. They're still all within their dates, don't worry, before you jump down my throat. So we have things like stomach gas, it's all labelled on there, pretty simple. Sleeping tablets, if you can't fall asleep. Painkillers, as I said. Puffers, so if you have asthma, there's a lot of stuff in here that's really good. Some Sudafed, some your typical puffer as well, some nose spray. Cold and flu tablets, Lemsip, a bit of Difflam.
Doesn't matter where you are in Australia, you're going to get a cold.
Oh, we were up at Mataranka. Was it Mataranka? No, Kakadu. Kakadu, and if you've seen that episode, that was I was crook for a good 3 weeks, wasn't I? It was really bad. So we pulled this stuff out, and that was our go-to. It was like, God, I'm glad we had this. It was really very handy. We have all different sorts of creams, so from cold sore creams to just everything really. It's just little things, burn creams or ward off stick. When you're in the middle of nowhere and something arises, you've got it here, you know, it's ready to go.
Very handy.
What have we got here? Ear and eye care. So this is, you might have an ear infection, you might get water in your ears, you can just spray some spray in your ears, you might get an irritated eye. It's all in this little kit here.
Oh, this one's for me, I think.
Oh, hay fever, yeah. This is Laura's best friend here, so just keep some tablets in there. And what we generally try to do is it's a bit low at the moment. We try to check it every 3 or 4 months and go and stock it up, which we need to do.
Yeah, so we'll go to the grocery store. So like last night we went to Woolworths and we went through the medicine aisle, and then we go, all right, we need Panadol, we need Nurofen, we need Band-Aids, whatever. That's
right, and we need to stock and keep it stocked, because there's nothing worse when you go to get it and it's not there. And you don't want to be trying to buy it in the middle of nowhere.
No.
It'll be impossible or cost you an absolute fortune. So that's the hay fever one.
One more.
And salt tablets.
What are they for?
If you cramp. If you get cramps, you take salt tablets. I used to take these when I was doing triathlons. And when you're cramping, there's nothing worse. So if you're going on a long hike and you're just feeling a bit sore and cramping up a bit.
Like even if you get cramps in your foot?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. You just chuck that in your mouth and suck on a salt tablet. Done.
Let's just put those out so the viewers can see. If you don't have these, it gives you ideas.
Yeah, that's right.
What you need.
Or if you guys can think of things that you would think would be beneficial to take in your first aid kit, 100% let us know in the comments, because like I said earlier, we're not doctors or nurses. Like, this is just from our upbringing, what my mum sort of taught me, and just to have things on hand basically, because you never know, and especially if you're a parent, it's so good. Not only to mention, if one of your fellow caravanners has become ill or something, at least you can offer and go, look, I've got this if you need it or whatever. Yeah. That's the medication that we take. Yeah. Not alongside the medication if we need medication for personal reasons, but that's generally what we take as a round experience of on the road. I probably should start from here and work my way down. So basically just got some little baby clips there. What do they call those things?
Safety pins.
Safety pins. Some scissors. They just stay there. Easy access. This here is a resus mask that comes with the kit, and you can use that someone's having a heart attack or whatever, you can pump that. Little sewing kit, always comes in handy. A bit of burn cream. Dressing, we have all our tapes over here, so someone rolls an ankle or something, you can tape them up. Compression sock. You have some of these burn packs as well. Someone gets badly burnt. You're constantly around fires when you camp, and it doesn't take much for a kid to fall in a fire or whatever. Like I said before, doesn't mean that you have to personally use it, but someone else might, and you might be bolting back to your caravan going, listen, a kid's screaming, or I've even seen dogs that have sat in fires and stuff like that. So extremely important,
or even,
to have this
like
on hand.
A boiled kettle or something that could just fall on their arm.
It just happens so quickly. Just some wound spray, disinfectant. Then we have more band-aids, syringes, eye patches, triangle bandages. It's a great kit. Fits a lot of stuff in there. That stays in the car. And there's also a booklet, a little first aid booklet that I keep on hand. When I did my first aid course, I was given this booklet, and that runs down everything to do if something happens. You've got your action plan there if someone needs CPR. So, like we say, we're not experts. No one really is, but you're one step ahead of the game if you've got this on board.
All right, darling, we're good to travel now. I think we've got it down pat.
I think. Yeah. If we haven't, please let us know, because obviously we're not professionals in health and safety, but we do know health and safety never takes a holiday, does it?
No, and we don't just have first aid safety, we've got medication, so we're fully equipped for anything that can come our way.
100%.
Or come out our way.
Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to our home. Thanks for coming along. If you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. Help us out. That's all we ask.
Hit the like button.
Nothing more, nothing less. Just
leave us a comment.
Yeah. And thanks to all the support everyone's giving us.
Yep.
It's been fantastic.
All right.
So we'll see you on the next one.
Done.
Bye for now.